Now, continuing our coverage of the Russia-Ukraine war, a series of explosions have left at least 5 people dead in Kyiv. An advisor to Ukraine's Minister of Internal Affairs says that these casualties are people who were either out on a walk or driving in the city. At least 12 people have been reportedly injured until now. Witnesses on ground say that these explosions have been much more central than Russian strikes earlier in the war. The first attack reportedly took place around 8:15 a.m. local time in Kyiv. Explosions have also been reported in cities of Lviv, Ternopil and Dnipro. The mayor of Lviv posted on Twitter that an explosion took place at critical infrastructure in Lviv and adds part of the city is without electricity at the moment, due to the operation of the city's thermal power stations has been temporarily suspended. Now, videos coming in from Kyiv show injured people lying on the ground while vehicles hit by the strike were seen burning. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky posted a message on Twitter, and I quote, "They are trying to destroy us and wipe us off the face of the earth," unquote. He said that the air raid sirens will not abate as rockets continue to strike the capital city.
Пиздець. Хуй його знає, дядько.
Now, for the latest developments, we are being joined by Lieutenant Colonel Glenn Grant. He's a defense expert joining us from Riga. Welcome to the broadcast.
Yeah, welcome.
Now, several explosions have rocked the Ukrainian capital after months of lull. Can you talk about the timing of the attack? It just came hours after Russia blamed Ukraine for the Crimean bridge blast.
Yes, it did. I mean, actually, the timing was deliberate because it was just as people were going to work. So one of the missiles actually hit one of the major junctions, crossings in there, and hit a lot of cars. So I know that I've heard that there are quite a few people killed there, and you know there are still burning cars in the area. Another one actually hit the park, which is in front of the main university, and a lot of people crossed this at that time of the morning. So I should be very surprised if there aren't more deaths from that. But actually, I mean, they targeted the children's playground, and there are always children in there early morning with parents on the way, taking them to kindergarten and things like this. So, I mean, this is a deliberate and extremely nasty attack. I mean, there can be no excuses for something like this because there is no single military activity in that area at all, and never has been, and probably never will be.
Absolutely. Now, the threat of a nuclear disaster was already looming in the wake of this war. What do you think the recent explosions will escalate this threat further?
It's very difficult to say that because we know that Putin is running out of missiles because he can't get the chips to make any more, and actually, even if he could make any more, he can only make them quite slowly. So this last night, the figure they said was 47 missiles fired across Ukraine, and that's a lot of missiles to fire, and he certainly can't do that for more than a few days before he'd have to rethink carefully about what he's doing with them. But I mean, this appears to be just a terror attack again to try and persuade Ukrainians to give up and to come to the negotiating table. But in fact, all it's doing is making them more angry. A lot of my friends this morning are just saying, you know, that they've gone too far now, Russia, for anybody in Ukraine to think about giving up or going to the negotiating table at all.
Right. Now, you said that Russia is running out of missiles, but what about Ukraine? Do you think that the West might aid or send in more aid towards Ukraine after this recent attack?
I don't think it's going to stop. I mean, UK has clearly said it's not going to stop supporting Ukraine. America has said it's not going to stop supporting Ukraine. And I think that a lot of the other countries around, they're not going to give in. They're not going to be bullied or blackmailed by Putin doing this. I'll just add that one of the missiles actually landed only 2 blocks away from the German embassy. So I think there might be some hard thinking this morning in Germany about their recent rather weak responses to the whole thing. So no, I don't see the West giving in. The only question is whether they can actually produce the required amount of ammunition and missiles and even weapons that Ukraine needs to continue the fight in the same way that they're doing at the moment.
Right, we will leave it to that. That was Lieutenant Colonel Glenn Grant joining us from Riga.